Well, welcome to Low Def Media. I'm Mike. I'd like to thank you for checking out the channel. Hey, this week we're gonna get into a lot of cool things. I've been on this challenge, if you will, this daily vlog challenge, and I've been trying to improve my video game content creation, you know the thing. And so this week I'm looking at things like lighting in a studio. I've been trying to dial in those settings so I can make this DSLR look the best it can. And we're also gonna work on things like maybe try to record directly into iMovie. I was using Filmora last week. This week I'm using iMovie. And we're also gonna do some manual settings for the camera. I didn't even know you could do manual settings in video. I always thought that was restricted to photography. So I learned a little bit of that and I'm gonna share it with you. Plus a couple other things. Ooh, I just whacked the microphone. Let's get into it. Well, welcome back to the daily vlog challenge. Switching things up a little bit today. Instead of taking the GoPro out on the morning walk, I decided to kind of switch things up and do more of a talking head setup here in the office using my Canon T7i. I'll have those settings up here. Also, I have a lavalier mic on. What I noticed in a previous episode using the Canon, I had a top-mounted microphone and it didn't pick up the volume, or it didn't pick up the audio quite as loud as I would have liked. And so I had to pump up the volume when I played it back, and that's not something that I want my viewing audience to have to do. So trying a little different approach. I've got the camera set a little farther away. I'm using a zoom lens, not a zoom, that is totally incorrect. Using a wide angle lens. Don't even know what the, let's see, it's a 10 to 18 Canon wide angle lens. I really like this lens. It's lightweight, it's got autofocus, and it also has built-in stabilization. So when I do take it outside, it produces a great image. Now, the only real drawback to this particular camera is that it only shoots 1080. So it's not gonna look as crisp as a 4K image, but that's my challenge this week. I'm gonna use the Canon specifically to see if I can really get the most out of it, I guess is a good way to put it. I know it's an old camera, but I just can't convince myself to go out and buy a newer camera. One that I was looking at was a Fuji XS10, and it's got 4K 60. It's a great, setup, really well constructed, but it's $1,500. And then if you go with the Sony ZV-1, which is really good for vlogging, you're gonna spend around $700. But I own this one. I've got a lot of lenses for it. I've got tripods and everything. So I'm gonna try and get the most I can out of this camera. I want you to let me know what you think. Oh, and another thing, real quick before we go. I know last week I talked about Filmora, the free version. And I said, oh man, this is really great to be able to use this editing software. You get all these tools. Unfortunately, I didn't know the watermark was gonna be a bar across the entire screen. I thought it might be something down in the corner that you see with some other apps where it's just, a little insignia or something down in the bottom corner of the image. But this was a bar across the entire screen. Needless to say, that is a non-negotiable, can't have that. So now the question is, do I go back to using iMovie on my Mac? Or do I spend the roughly $80 for Filmora, or do a subscription for Premium Rush? Let me know your thoughts. What do you use for your video editing? Hey, I've rambled on long enough. You have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Well, good morning, glorious people of the internet. It's another beautiful morning here in Georgia. Out getting the steps in again before work. It's, I don't know, somewhere around 8 o'clock. Hey, I know I said in yesterday's episode that I was going to be using my DSLR this week, and I am, but you can't take a DSLR out on a walk and not look totally ridiculous. There's a spider web. And so I said, you know what? I've been using the GoPro and I want to see what this DJI Osmo looks like in comparison. So we are using it. I've got an ND filter, an ND4 on. And so I would like you to tell me what you think of the image quality. Also this week, I'm going to try to incorporate an intro and do a little bit more with transitions. And I'm using iMovie this week. So hopefully you guys see some improvement in this week's content. Please let me know what you're thinking down below. See you in the next one. Okay, well, welcome back to the daily vlog series. Today, using the Canon T7i like I said I was going to start doing on Tuesday. So today is Thursday, as you probably saw down here somewhere. So, said that I was going to use the T7i for most of the week, and that is still the case. So here we are in the office. One thing that I've done this week with this camera is learn how to shoot video in manual mode. So that's one of the improvements that I have, I guess, put in place so that I can make better content. Before, I just used all the auto settings and I wasn't really happy with how it turned out most of the time. Sometimes it was great, but sometimes it just wasn't as crisp as I wanted it to be. So what I did is I learned a little bit, watched a couple YouTube videos, and now I'm trying to get a little more comfortable using the manual settings. Additionally, using a wireless lav mic today, hoping the audio is a little bit better. The top mounted mic that I had been using in the past, earlier this week and some of last week, just didn't produce the volume that I was looking for. So hopefully this is a little better. Also, using iMovie this week. As you may recall earlier in the episode, I was having some issues with Filmora, didn't like their advertisement banner there, not really looking to pay $80 for a year, or for what they call a perpetual subscription. Plus you've got to pay some additional fees for licensing and things. So didn't want to go down that bunny hole. So right now using iMovie because it's free, and I'm using another music service, I think it's called Uppbeat, and getting some free music there, some copyright, I guess it's, I don't know, the licensing is set up where you can use it and you don't have to worry about copyright issues. You just have to attach a little blurb in your description on YouTube. So I will do that. Also, working on some lighting. Not today, I'm just using a natural light that's behind the camera, and again using some manual settings. But I have been toying around with trying to get, like I said, the most out of this camera. And in here you can see the box light behind me. There's a ring light. I've got some accent lighting that I've been trying to incorporate. So really trying to work on that to get this camera set up to perform as best as it possibly can in an office environment. Works great outside as long as there's plenty of light, you don't get a lot of noise in the background. But what I've found in here is that if I don't get a lot of light in the corners here, you'll see a lot of noise. And so not really sure how to combat that. I've always heard that you have to keep your frame rate, so the shutter speed, twice your frame rate. So right now I'm shooting at 30 frames per second, so I've got my shutter speed at 1/60th, and then I'm toying around with the ISO so that I can get the proper amount of light into the camera so that the picture looks good. But when you really pump up that ISO, you start to get noise in the background. So that's the balancing act that I'm trying to figure out so that I can get a nice crispy image here in the office. So I'll keep doing my research. You let me know if it starts to look better or if it still looks like poop. Anyway, so that's what's going on today. Again, it's Thursday, and still trying to improve that content creation and hoping you're enjoying this journey, hoping you're learning a little something along the way. And if you are, do a couple things for me. One, hit that like button. Two, be a subscriber so that you can continue to get content like this if it's what you like. And then also hit me up with comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know some of the struggles you've had, maybe some of the things that you've taken away from this series, so that we can all progress together. With that in mind, we will see you in the next one. Okay, so I am going to try and use the Canvo app, I think it's called Camo app, to record video and audio. This is so crooked. Video and audio through my iPhone into my Mac into iMovie. So I'm hoping I get it all right. Let's see how it looks. This is only recording at 720p. Let's do one thing here real quick. More light is better. I'm sitting in front of a window, getting some natural light, got some overhead light, which is probably crap. And so I just turned on circular light for a little fill. Let's see what this looks like. Quick test of the XA5. Walking around the house, I took the internal stabilization off because it made the background look really wonky in some of the footage. And so now I'm just kind of walking around. I got the Rode video mic on top. All right, let's get some natural light. See how well this thing performs. I really want this camera to work well because I love the image that comes out on occasion. Really like the sound that when you hook up an external mic, sound is really good. It does have the flip up screen in the back. So I really want this camera to succeed. It's got a great price point. And if I can just tweak a couple things and really maximize everything that this camera is able to do, I think we've got a real winner here. So let me pan around the room real quick. I think that's a pretty crispy image. So let's, run it through a editor and find out. All right, well, good afternoon. This is Friday's edition of the daily vlog, and I want you to tell me, what camera am I using? Am I using an internal or external microphone? I do have an ND filter on because it's super bright out today. And so I'm gonna pan around and I'm gonna let you see the backyard. Maybe pull the camera out a little bit. And let's try to get some of the sky. So that ND filter is pretty dark. And so I'm hoping that it's starting to diffuse a lot of that brightness behind me there. So all right, so today's challenge, you tell me, what camera am I using? Internal or external microphone? Love to see your answers. Have a good day. Welcome to the second episode of today's Friday daily vlog submission. I'll go with that. Earlier today, I was out in the backyard and I challenged you to figure out what camera I was using. So I'm not gonna spoil it for you yet. You'll have to tune in next week to find out. Well, I may not wait that long. Maybe if you stick around to the Monday wrap-up, that's when I'll let you know what camera I was using. But for today, using the Canon T7i here in the office, I've got two ring lights today, and I've got natural light. There's a window right there behind the camera. I've got my Rode video mic plugged in, so I'm hoping that this is a good setting to really maximize what this 1080p camera can do. The reason why I kind of hold my breath there for a minute, I love this camera. if I were only going to use this camera to take pictures with, totally fine, super stoked. But because when I bought it, I also wanted to vlog with it, because at the time, 4 years ago, this was the only type of camera vloggers were using. So I said, okay, that's what they're using, that's what I'm going to use. So I got it. But what I found out was that this particular camera, well, like most DSLRs, are pretty bulky. And then when you throw a microphone on top, it's very obvious. And so I didn't really use it as much as I wanted to for vlogging. I traditionally use like my GoPro or my iPhone because they're just so much easier. And this is what I used for photography. Great camera for pictures. Cannot state that enough. Now I do have ND filters for this, so I can use it outside for both photography and videography. But I just find that carrying all the stuff, the extra lenses, the microphones, the ND filters, it just becomes a little cumbersome. Even the selfie, and it's not a selfie stick. I don't have, and if you've probably seen my office, if you look around, I've got a ton of selfie sticks, but they're designed for much smaller cameras. Cameras like this, okay? This is the Akaso Brave 7LE. I bought this to compare with the GoPro 7. You can probably find a lot of other comparisons like that on Instagram or YouTube. So this will fit on one of those selfie sticks very easily, okay? I've also got my Sony point and shoot. That will fit on these selfie sticks very easily. I've got my DJI Osmo Pocket. This will fit on there, weighs hardly anything. This particular selfie stick is designed specifically for an iPhone. Now you do have the 1/4-20 mount here, all right? But once you extend it out, you only have so much weight that you can put on it before it starts to flex. Now, the nice thing about this is it does become a tripod, and so you can do this and then use it with whatever camera you're using. So while these are all well and good, they don't really support the weight of a Canon DSLR. So I've got a newer tripod. This thing is like a standard tripod, camera tripod, but it's shorter. The legs are short. It's got a ball head on it, and this has been fabulous. But it's big, it's heavier than a selfie stick, and it's just that extra thing that you have to take around with you. So I know I'm kind of blathering on, but that's the point of this daily vlog challenge, is to work through these logistics so that you can get to a place where you can feel comfortable creating the content that you want to create. And though I want to use this camera to do that, I think I'm going to have to relegate this camera to what I'm doing right now, an office setting. Because taking it here, there, and everywhere out and about, it's just not worth it for 1080. I mean, I've got my iPhone here. This shoots 4K. And so why would I sacrifice 4K video for 1080 with a camera that's super big? Hold on just a moment. Sorry. Wife texted me. All right, so I can cut that out later. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. So let me know, please. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this image compared to the other images that you've seen from other cameras earlier. What do you think of the audio? And let me know if you struggle with this same thing when it comes to a DSLR or mirrorless camera and your iPhone or an action camera. What are some of the struggles you go through? How did you overcome them? What did you ultimately decide to do? I'd love to hear your feedback. And so this has been the Friday afternoon edition of the Daily Vlog Challenge series. I will see you tomorrow. Okay, real quick, it is Saturday morning and I just wanted to make sure to get in my daily vlog. Doing a little bit of a road trip today. Got to drive about an hour and a half outside of town to go to a graduation. So I didn't want to get behind the 8-ball and then not have time to get this submission put in. Hoping to take some good pictures while I'm out and about. Hopefully that will be included in the vlog entry this evening. So wish me luck. It's supposed to be super rainy today, so I'm hoping that we travel safe and I'm able to get some good pictures, maybe some video while we're on the road. So anyway, check the box for today. Got in that daily vlog submission. Hope you're having a great Saturday. All right, well, good Sunday morning to you. This is Mike, Low Def Media, and this is the, what did I just say? Did I say Friday? I hope I didn't say Friday. This is Sunday. Happy Sunday morning to you. This is the Sunday AM submission edition vlog entry for today, Sunday. All right, that didn't go very smoothly, but you get the gist. So today is Sunday. I'm doing this. If you'll notice, I had one entry for Saturday. Didn't get to take any pictures or video like I had hoped on the road trip. The weather was very inclement. The road trip up there took about 2 hours. Nothing worth videoing, nothing of note. And my hand is shaking like crazy. Hope the internal stabilization is really helping out, because this is bad. Too much coffee this morning. Anyway, so nothing really of note. I got to the location. It was a house up in the mountains. Beautiful house, but you don't want to start taking pictures and videos of somebody else's house. And so then we stayed there for what we needed, and then we left, and it was raining all the way back home. So again, nothing really worth videoing or taking pictures of. And so it didn't lend itself to what I had hoped. So one submission yesterday. Here's the one for today. Today's Father's Day, so hopefully going to be doing some Father's Day type activities today. And if I have a chance, I might try to throw some B-roll in here. We'll see how it goes. Hope you're having a great Sunday. And we're going to throw this one into the editor and check the box for today's daily submission. See you in the next one. Well, good morning and welcome to Low Def Media. This is the Monday edition and it's the weekly wrap up. I've got to tell you, a little frustrated this morning. I have learned 2 valuable vlogging life lessons. Maybe you've experienced the same. Maybe you can learn from my frustrations. This morning went out for my normal walk. You know that I like to take a camera with me and sometimes record a little snippet and then include it in the vlog series. Well, I did that this morning with my DJI Osmo Pocket, this time putting on the Freewell wide-angle lens. I thought everything was great. In the little screen that is on the DJI, here, I've got it right here. In this little screen right there, it looked like I was in frame. And so if I'm in frame, I'm assuming, because it's, one of those action cams where everything's in focus, I'm assuming I was in focus. Au contraire, I was not in focus. Don't know why I wasn't. I think it's because the focal distance on this camera, when you put the wide angle lens, you have to create more separation between you and the camera so that it focuses properly. Lesson learned. So I recorded that whole thing while I'm out there on the trail, not in focus. Then I come back here to the house. Sorry, gotta do some work stuff. So I come back here to the house to set this up, my Canon T7i, put it on the dining room table, light, microphone, everything, record it, think it's great. Go back to play it. Microphone wasn't plugged in. So you've got to plug it into the camera and you've got to plug it into the microphone. It was plugged into the camera, but fell, when I set it down in here, fell right out of the back of the microphone. That's when I knew it wasn't plugged in. So when I played the video back, no sound, because that cord, that end was plugged in, so it didn't record anything. So now I'm here in the office re-recording the Monday wrap up. So, hey, what did we do this week? We included an intro, which was new. We used a variety of different locations and setups, office, outside, dining room table, out on the trail. A couple different cameras, but kept it pretty moderate. So that's good. So hopefully you're finding that with the B-roll, the music, the intro, you're seeing an upgrade, an improvement in the vlog series. And so hopefully you're learning something and you're including that in your vlogs, and you're also leveling up just like I'm trying to do. And the more I research, the more I realize maybe a 1080p camera is the way to go, because just about every video I watch on 4K video says you need to have a laptop, a computer that can process that 4K footage. And my laptop struggles as it is, even though it's an iPad, it's a MacBook Pro. It's a little older, starting to struggle with this video, so I think I'm going to keep it at 1080. 2.7K is probably the highest I'll go with my GoPro and with the DJI. And hopefully that's good enough. So without droning on too long, I think this week was very successful. I think we got a lot of things accomplished. Very excited about next week and pulling all this together and making a very succinct weekly submission. Next week, I'm going to try and dedicate each day to a different camera. And so instead of having this mishmash through the week, Tuesday will be one camera, Wednesday will be one camera, Thursday, and then at the end of the week, you tell me which one you like the best. How about that? Sound good? And hey, hit me up with the comments below. Let me know if you're getting value out of this. Maybe even get a link to some of your videos so I can see what you guys are doing. Do hit that like button, really helps out the channel. And if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and be a subscriber. With that, have a great Monday, and we will see you in the next one.